Hey guys, this is part 6 of sculpting Steve Ditko's Spider-Man. This is going to be a very short video, and I'm not going to be doing much on it except explaining myself. This is where we left off. Now, after a couple of comments on Facebook and doing a little research myself, I found out that I've been using the wrong reference. I've been using that. And that is not the 6-foot door poster. It's very similar, but it's not the 6-foot door poster from 1965. This was reissued as a smaller poster with 7 other Marvel characters. There were 8 Marvel characters issued as small posters in 66 or 67, and they changed it. They changed the door poster. Let me show you side by side. This is the door poster right here. That's the 1965 famous iconic door poster, and you can see he's slanted to the right. He's kind of angled to the right, and you've got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man written at the bottom in cursive. And look at let me show you the other poster, the smaller poster. This is the smaller poster, and they did one of Thor and Hulk and Iron Man, Captain America. So this is, you can see they changed the orientation of the figure. Now he's straight up and down, and that's what I've been sculpting. I've been sculpting him straight up and down. Now I need to lean him over to the right more, which might be actually good for balance. This rod is going to be shorter, but anyway, you can see the side by side. What else they did was to fit the more square format as opposed to this long elongated door shape. They pulled the arm out. You see, this is Ditko, and you can see the pointy elbow and the pointy toe. You can see that this is Ditko, and they kind of softened things. And Ditko had done, from what I understand, this is inked by Ditko as well. He had the light blue and the dark blue shadows, and they just made it one solid color blue, and they added a lot of cross-hatching and shading in here. Besides the arm pulling in, which is very important to me because I'm going to do the web under there, and you can't do that until you get the arm position correct. This looks actually, Marie Severin, who did the changes, probably at Stan Lee's direction, this looks anatomically more correct. That kind of looks a little weird, that shoulder, but the arm is going back in space, so I can make that work. But anyway, the other thing is, look at the face. Look at what they did to embellish the face. Now, Ditko just had a plain Spider-Man mask, right? Just a straight Spider-Man mask. And they added all this shading all around the head, and they put a nose and even lips, which is completely weird to me. But anyway, that's okay because I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to base the sculpture on this one. I'm going to base the sculpture on the door poster. So anyway, that's my problem. And what else? The other thing I did was I changed the eyes to make it more like Ditko, because I just figured that somebody had changed the eyes and made them more like, Romita drew them. So I made Ditko eyes. This is the way Ditko drew Spider-Man's eye holes. And somebody pointed this out to me on Facebook and said, you got the eyes wrong from the poster. And in chapter 4, if you watch chapter 4, I explain, as I'm making these eye holes, I explain that I'm trying to get the black on top of the white a little bit thicker, and the whites of the eyes go straight across, as opposed to, you know, slanting upward to conform with the black. But if Ditko did the original door poster, he didn't do his normal eyes. He did those eyes. So I'm going to change it back. I'm going to get rid of these eyes and change it back to this. So I got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be just housekeeping stuff. So I'm not going to film it. I'm going to pull this arm in, and I'm going to change the eye holes back to the other style. And by pulling this arm in, I'm going to destroy this nice crisp line that I scribed in. That's going to be all funky, so I'm going to have to redo the scribe line on the arm, and I'm going to have to redo the scribe line on the mask. So I won't film that. I'll just do that off camera, and I'll come back once the pose is correct. Once I'm back to this point with a correct pose, I'll come back and we'll start sculpting again. Okay, so thank you for looking. Fortunately, if you've been following, I do have the solid torso and the scribe lines right here. So it's going to be easy once I correct the arm pose. And I'm going to tilt the whole sculpture at an angle to the right. So let me do that stuff, that tedious housekeeping stuff, and I'll be back with chapter 7, and we'll start sculpting again. We'll start putting in the web lines. Okay? All right, guys, thank you again for looking, and I'll talk to you later.